Hey guys, it's your boy Big Wheel Dog 82, and I would do my normal intro, but you're gonna hear it more than enough today because what we're doing is a sort of kind of a compilation of a number of videos. These videos are normally posted on a monthly basis on my buddy Chad at Down Home Backyard Gardening's channel, and it's called The Coast to Coast. So some of you guys may have heard of it, some of you may not have, but because of that, I wanted to go ahead and take the first 6 months of this year and put them all together. That way you guys can see the changes of what happened between the beginning of the year to June's update. Plus, I just want to give a little bit of a shout out to my buddy Chad and all the other gardeners that are doing the coast to coast along with us. And it's a fun thing. It gives you an idea of the differences in timing of what people are doing from the beginning of the year to the midway through the year, and I enjoy looking at it every month. So after watching this, please go check out all those videos on Chad's channel because they're just awesome, and the people that are doing are awesome people too. So let's get into this. I'll be back with you guys at the end. Hey guys, Big Wheel Dog 82 in the soil. And I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what's going on here in Indiana, Zone 6A, this time of year. I mean, there's a lot of things going on, like the cold and ice, and I can't grow nothing really outside, but we've got some garlic outside, we've got some plants on the inside here that we're working on, and I've also got my worm bin, which are the three biggest tasks that I'm doing right now because spring's only around the corner and I'm going to be ready. So I'll have a look at all of that and maybe, hey, take one of these ideas. If you don't have one yet, go ahead and do it. All right, guys, here in my backyard, it is a balmy 5 degrees, which means right now in the shade, it's probably negative 30. No, not really. It's not too windy today, but it is cold and everything is froze. So we're gonna check up on my garlic because, to tell you the truth, I haven't looked at it in a while. So yeah. Also, I also want to mention that when I was in basic, which was in San Antonio, Texas, people used to sit there and say, you know, TI, it's cold. And then my TI ended up saying something very profound to us, which was, it's not cold outside. It's called motivation. Motivate your ass to get back inside where it's warm, or to get done what I'm telling you to get done. So that's what I'm doing. I'm being motivated. As you can see, everything's pretty much the way we left it. Oh, I got a little bit of green still there. Oh, it blew off. That's why. And some of these blew off too. I'm not going all the way over there because I've got my house shoes on outside and I'm trying not to get them all, you know, snow covered. Now I'm motivating my behind to get back in the house. And this is my main bed, my main feeding bed. So what we're gonna do is drop the rest of these pieces of eggshell in there. These guys are getting fat. If you can see that. They're just everywhere in here. Just grabbing places. That's what you want to see. Happy, working worms, doing their thing, making me my worm castings for me to use come spring. I mean, that's why they're inside. As you can obviously tell, I just gave them their first feeding. I think it's been about 10 days since the last feeding I gave them. And since we've got a big population in here, I decided to go ahead and give them a decent feeding, which should hold them over for another 10 days. And on top, that's just bedding, which is just cocoa core, which you can see right there. That's pretty much it when it comes to taking care of a worm bin. Last, but certainly not in the least, is my seed starting or plants. Most of this is lettuce. I've got some thyme and rosemary that I had to restart in these, and they'll take forever to germinate usually, but they grow so slowly that I've just got to get them started now if I want to be able to have some plants to plant out when it warms up outside. Back there, those are my onions, which, as you can tell, are all popped up and everything. So now it's just taking care of them until they're ready to go out. I've got several types of lettuce in here. Some of them are heading lettuces, some of them are just leaf lettuces, and those will, what doesn't get eaten by myself or my wife, will be fed to the worms. I'm letting them go all the way to seed, well, mature seed. That way I can harvest them and have plenty of seeds to replace for when it comes time to planting in the spring. I will be starting some other plants and stuff here in a little while. This is just the beginning of it, really. And with that, we're done. We've got garlic outside. We've got plants right behind me. And my biggest activity that I've been doing is my worm bin. I brought it inside from the garage so it wouldn't get cold, my worms wouldn't slow down, and they'll keep on doing what they're supposed to do. For now, I'm gonna let you guys go. So, thanks for coming along. This is Big Wheel Dog in the Soil. I'm out of here. See you guys later. Hey guys, Big Wheel Dog 82 in the soil, and here in Indiana Zone 6A, I'm starting to get jonesing for that spring warm up to come. So right now, I'm going to show you guys a little bit of what's going on here that I'm doing to prep for that warm up to come, which mostly includes a lot of my cool weather crops. Eventually, we're going to be getting to all the other stuff like carrots and turnips and radishes. You know what? Now, let's just take a peek at what I got going on. Alright guys, what we've got going on here is my grow rack. And I mentioned in my, just mainly my cool season. And that would be my onion starts, which I just recently topped them all. And they're coming on pretty decently. On this tray, I've got some chives, cilantro, holy basil. This one right here is parsley. And these two are also the same as the front one, which is garlic chives and some more cilantro. Here, in this one, a little bit more going on. So in here are cabbages. And then what we have here is mainly kohlrabi, which will be going out as soon as any of my wicking beds are enough, I guess you could say, to put them in. So they're ready to go. And then here we have my celery, which is, you can see, is sprouted. I tend to overseed, and then once they get about 2 or 3 true leaves, I will prick these out and then put them into individual cells, just like everything else is. As well as I overseeded my rosemary and thyme, and since I have 2 here and 3 that are here, I'll be pricking those out here probably in a couple days and doing the same. So that's just my process. It makes it easier, it saves space for a while, and it tends to work for me. Oh, and then down here, as you can see in the purple growlets, that's just more of my lettuce that continue to grow. Wraps up what's going on here, and I hope a lot of you guys are just as antsy as I am to get going here in the spring. And make sure you get your plants started so that you have already got them ready to go when it's time to get them outdoors. So I hope to see you guys sometime here showing what you've got going on, because I sure am going to be showing on my channel what I've got going on. So you guys take care of yourselves. This is Big Wheel Dog 82 in the soil, and we're doing this coast to coast again. And this trip around my garden here in the spring, we're gonna see what I've got. Most of my cold weather stuff is either already in pots or they're outside hardening off, which we'll take a look at. And I've only got a small number of my warm season plants started so far, but don't worry, we got more coming. So let me show you guys what we have and show you what's going on here. Alright, for today we're going to start here. And these are just some recent starts that I started on the 16th of March. And most of these are herbs of some sort. These right here are marigolds, which haven't come up yet. And then over here we have holy basil, purple basil, and leaf basil, lettuce leaf basil. And then we've also got some more marigolds, my pineapple, ground cherries, and parsley. And we can see already that we have some popping up on the purple basil, which is awesome. Glad to see that. All right, down here we have mostly peppers, and the ones in the back were started on February 23rd, I believe. And then this one in the front, that one's a mystery, and I believe it's a seed that got through my worm bin and ended up getting through the sifting process as well. So I'm not exactly sure what kind of pepper it is. I put a variety of them into my worm bin, so we'll see. But yeah, I just know it's a pepper. And these guys are still pretty small. I started a little bit later than I typically would, just because I wanted to try to see if having younger plants that go out do better or respond better than the older plants that I usually have that are much, much bigger. And I mean, we still got time. I think I've still got like a month and a half before they go out. So peppers grow slow, so that's not too big of an issue. And then next to those are some more garlic chives. Now, when I mentioned my worm bin, which you guys can see and have seen in my previous videos, that was my starting worm bin. Well, I felt that I needed a second bin, so guess what? We started a second bin. So this worm bin started off as cocoons that I pulled out of here. So now, looks like we got some seeds that are starting to germinate, but we've got our worms in here. So now we have 2 buckets with worms. This is a simple bucket, or a simple bin, which is just a cat litter container, and that's it. And then the paper is there just to conserve moisture, and the plastic is on top of it again to conserve moisture. We've got 2 bins now, guys. 2 healthy bins, making them castings. Okay guys, here we are outside, and because it's a little bit windy out, we're gonna try to roll with it anyways, okay? So, here we have some of my cool season plants that were inside, and some of them are already outside permanently, some of them aren't. For instance, everything in this tray here, and I'll pull it out for you, has been hardened off and is ready to go into various pots that I have. We have lettuce, we got some rosemary, thyme, and then some cabbages. Also out here, and out of camera view, are my onion plugs, which are going through the hardening off process, so I can get these out here next week. And then here we have some celery and some cilantro, which is also hardening off. And then finally, another tray of some kohlrabi, which don't seem to be doing too well. They're not too happy in these little things, so we're gonna get these out into my wicking beds. And then we have some parsley and something else, I can't remember. And then another cabbage plant. So we're pretty good as far as getting stuff started, but we've still got more to show. I just wanted to show you guys, I've also got my potatoes. Look at them chits. These are ready to go out at any point in time into my pots. So guess what? That's also what I'm going to be doing here next week. I have 2 of the 3 planned carrots for spring. Well, 2 of them are already ready to go. All they're asking for is some seeds and then they're starting off. They're gonna stay in the garage here until the sprouts pop up, and then they'll be headed outside. Here we have my strawberries. And then I have one cabbage plant, which I'm obviously gonna have to do something with because it looks like it's getting beat up out here. Maybe the hardening off process wasn't completely correct. I don't know, but we'll be taking care of that. Here are the rest of my strawberries, which I've already pruned back, fertilized, and then restacked with the straw. Here's some kohlrabi, which, yeah, I think it's just a little bit of the weather that's starting to play on these guys. So I'm gonna have to fix that. Over here, we have our garlic, which some of them are starting to poke up pretty well. Hashtag Garlic Challenge 2025 if you haven't heard. And the deal with these is they've all been amended. I've fertilized like it needs to be for the first time this year, and then the straw was all put back on top. So I'm a little bit behind some of these people, but don't worry, I got y'all. This is just the beginning. I know it doesn't really seem like much, but this right here is my blueberry plant. And what I've already done is I put down fertilizer around it with my overs from when I sifted out my compost, and I just sprinkled that around there, and it's already starting to get buds. So these plants, if you want a decent berry production this spring, you're gonna have to feed them. So this has been fed. Here's my blackberry plant, which you can start to see green growths coming out of that. And this is my raspberry plant, and if you don't know anything about raspberries, they really don't need a whole lot. I hope you guys enjoy the little walkthrough of what we got going on here. This is the most energetic time of the year where you're able to take all those plans that you've had over the winter and apply them right in your garden. There's no telling how much you can get done in a year. You just got to pace yourself. And trust me, I know that from personal experience that a little bit of patience and a little bit of listening to the body can still produce an epic garden. So thanks again for showing up. Thanks again for watching. I can't wait to show you guys what's going on here next month. So I guess we're going to kick this back to Chad. So see you guys later, alright? I'm watching. Hey guys, Big Wheel Dog 82 in the soil, and we're back with this coast to coast, you guys. There's a lot of things going on here, so come on with me. Let's check it all out. So here we have some kohlrabi, purple kohlrabi to be exact, which are looking pretty nice. This bed is set up and ready for the watermelons that are going to go right here in this wicking bed. Right now I've already got some cilantro, my marigolds, some peas. There's one of the tomato plants, my Roma tomato, and then those have peas in them, which some of them have started to come up already. And then over here you can see my strawberry plants that I'm letting get bigger, my potatoes that are in the bucket, and some celery. And then right here, remember those garlic that didn't go through the winter? Guess what? Those are onions, and they look beautiful. Here we have my green stock fully planted out and looking good. Here we've got a cabbage, and then one of my few herb pots that I just did. So we have parsley, cilantro, and rosemary. Here we have the main part of my raised bed, which is my tomatoes are in, guys. So some of them are cherry tomatoes, which are mostly on this side, and then the other ones are Roma and pasted tomatoes, or my hashtag Tomato Challenge 2025 winners right there. Right here we have one of my few buckets of carrots, which you can see they've came up. Another cabbage plant with marigold. Yes, my lone survivor garlic is doing pretty good, at least the one. That right there is the pineapple ground cherry that I've planted. And then these peppers are going to be going in this wicking bed, interplanted with more of my onions. So we're just waiting until the weather's right for it. And last but certainly not least is my fruit bush garden, which you can see blueberries, which are flowering nicely. That's my blackberry that is trying to grow back from the ground since the rabbits chewed them off. And then this is my raspberry bush, which is starting to leaf out, and we'll start pumping out those raspberries real soon, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the tour. Chad, thank you for inviting me again. And everybody, I'm gonna see you guys later. It's about to rain. I'm out of here. Hey guys, Big Wheel Dog 82 in the soil, and we're back for this month's Coast to Coast, you guys. We've got quite a bit going on here, so I'm going to take you on a little trip around all my beds, my pots, and my wicking bed, so that you can sort of kind of see what's growing here. So come on, follow me, and we'll take a look at it all. Here's my tomato bed, and right now, it's not necessarily looking as epic as it will, but it's coming along. This cold weather that we've been having here hasn't helped them, but as you can see, all these ones on this side are all my cherry tomato types, which grow fast anyways, and they're actually looking pretty good. I can't wait to eat these. Okay, here's my lone survivor garlic, and as you can see, she is beautiful. Like I said, I'm still in the game. Y'all better watch out, because this puppy's coming at you for the single biggest clove, because it's the only clove I got. Over here we have peppers and onions on both sides, interplanted. Here's some more onions, green beans, and both of these are my wicking beds. Alright guys, here is my carrots. And like I said, I've got these two. And I've got another one over here, but this one over here isn't necessarily as, they don't have as many sprouts as the other ones. And it's because this one right here is just old seed that I just wanted to use. So if you guys ever have old seeds, like I do, just throw them in. I mean, even if you don't get a good crop, at least it's something. Here we have some heading cabbage, and I interplanted it with marigolds, and looks like they're both loving being together. Here is my, I guess I'm gonna call it my little pot of herbs, and it's just going nuts now. So we've got cilantro, we've got some rosemary, and we've got parsley, which I'm getting ready to use the parsley tonight when I make dinner. I might even use the rosemary tonight. Well, down here you see nice luscious celery. Here's my first green stalk, all planted out with strawberries, mostly, and then you can see all my herbs down in the bottom, along with some more marigolds. And yeah, these things are putting off runners now, they're putting off strawberries now, tomato plant. And then here is my trellis. This is a DIY trellis where I'm going to grow vertically my watermelon, and right now I have some peas growing up the trellis. While this isn't a huge deal, and sorry, it's kind of messed up, but it's a little, I just mowed, but this right here is comfrey, and I've got a few pieces of it around here, and I just want to say thanks, Croc, because you did your boy a favor, and I appreciate it. So it's coming along, and even look, she's starting to flower. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the trip around my garden, and I guarantee you, by the time we see this again next month, there's gonna be a whole lot more for me to show and for me to taste test for you guys. Sorry if you're not gonna be able to be here for that, but I promise you, it's worth the wait. So Chad, thanks again, as always, for inviting me to be here, and I can't wait to see what everybody else is doing too. Alright, with that, I'm out of here. See you guys later, alright? What's up guys, it's June's Coast to Coast, and I love this time of the month. So last night we had some epic windstorms that came through here, and it did some damage to my plants and my beds, but surprisingly for me was that the lightest trellis that I have seemed to do the best out of all of them. Now we're talking flipped over tomato plants. We had flipped over big pots of my peas, my green beans, which were all nice and lush, and that got all whipped around. So let me show you guys what's going on. We'll sit there and see what the damage is. So here's my wicking bed where I keep my green beans and my onions right now, and this was all upright and everything, so I've sort of kind of fixed it a little bit. It's still a little cattywampus, but the bonus is we've got onions, y'all. Decent sized ones too. Let's see if we look at that. We got onions, y'all. They're almost ready. So also my pepper plant here, as you can see, it was upright. I'm probably gonna have to get stake for that now because that's fallen down. But other than that, everything seems like it's okay on this side of the house. Garlic is fine. My green stock kind of took a beating as well. So did the potatoes, but they're doing okay. These strawberries took a decent beating as well. This held strong, even though it's not necessarily the most sturdy, but it didn't move. Now here's evidence on the ground. 2 tomatoes there, because this fell over and that fell over. But surprisingly, this trellis right here for these peas, it actually held up to both of these falling down. These 2 potatoes over here got a little bit beat up, but they're on their way out a little bit, and that's just thrashed over there. So this cabbage here is more than ready to be picked. Starting to get eat up by the slugs, I think. So we're gonna get that out of here today. Okay, here in my tomato bed, we actually didn't take too much damage. The string trellising system I have here pretty much just allow these tomato plants to not really take much damage. There may be a couple limbs here and there that are broke, but other than that, this is looking good. Do you see the size of these freaking things? This one up here is that's about 6 feet tall. Here's my raspberry plant, and it thoroughly got trashed, and it's getting a little out of control right now because I still got to rearrange all these the new branches. But if you look, we've got raspberries coming along. Chad, thanks again for allowing me to participate in this coast to coast every month. I love it. I can't wait to see you guys here next time. It's Big Wheel Dog 82 in the soil, and I'm out of here. See ya. Wow, I didn't even realize how much things have changed on a month-to-month basis until I just happened to take a look back at all those videos. You guys, like I said, there's a bunch of YouTubers who are doing this, and I really enjoy seeing everybody's gardens and seeing how they're progressing throughout the year. So once again, please go check out and follow Chad's channel if you aren't already, and I will put links down for all the participants in the Coast to Coast monthly show that so you guys can check them out. Other than that, that's all I got today. It seems like a pretty easy video. It kind of was, because it wasn't, but so with that, I'm out of here. Big Wheel Dog 82 in the soil. See you guys later.